Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to teach you guys the correct way to tighten a track on a snowmobile. So each snowmobile is a little bit different, each manufacturer is a little bit different. For the most part it's the same principle, so not much will change depending on your make and model. Alright, the reason why track tension is so important is because your drivers, which actually drive the track, which actually rotate the track, and then are connected to the motor and the clutching and everything like that, you get what's called ratcheting if your track is too loose, which is where the drivers slip on the track and cause it's a ratcheting noise, and it's bad, it's horrible, it tears up your drivers, eats your track up, things like that. So you want to avoid the ratcheting. Also, if your track is very loose, you obviously risk having your track derail, and if it's too tight, then you are robbed horsepower and you can wear out your sliders a lot faster. So track adjustment is super important. I mean, it's like anything else, chain tension, anything like that, it's super important. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do on any sled to check your track tension is obviously jack it up. Do it in a very safe redneck manner, such I have done. You know, just don't let it fall and hurt yourself. You guys do this at your own risk, okay? Pretty sturdy little deal there, but anyway, as you can see, my skid is off the ground and my track is actually pretty loose. I don't know how loose it is, but it looks like it needs tightened up a little bit. So when I did pick up this sled, I did tighten the track up a little bit, but I could not find my tension gauge, which basically tells you a measurement based on a certain foot-pound of pressure. So this will all make sense as I explain it to you here in just a second. Okay, so right here is my tension gauge. So this is actually for a belt on a motorcycle. Now they do make belt tension gauge or track tension gauges for snowmobiles, but they're pretty expensive. Probably because not many people make them, so they can sell them for pretty expensive. But this was actually like, I think 15 or 20 bucks. It's a Motion Pro unit, and it works pretty good. Basically, what we are going to do is for this snowmobile, you want to measure it right here in the middle, the lowest point. So there is my bogey wheels in the back, and then I do not have an idler anywhere in this sled because it's a mountain sled. So those are the only wheels I have on this sled other than these top ones. So what I'm going to do is, well, I already know my measurements from the bottom of my high fax to my track is supposed to be 1 3/8 with 13 to 16 foot-pounds of pressure. I've got 1 inch increments on here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up from the bottom actually and measure up 1 3/8. So I've already got it set up here at 1 1/4. So let's go to 1 3/8, which is right there. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect, but close. Okay, so that's 1 3/8 from the base here up to that O-ring. Okay, now this O-ring up here is your track, or the weight on the actual tension gauge. So you can see I can compress that. When I've compressed that to that 10 right there, that is 10 foot-pounds of pressure. So my sled requires about 13 foot-pounds of pressure to get to that 1 3/8. So I'm going to go just barely above this 10. And that should be pretty close to that 13-16 pound mark that they require out of my sled. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this on my track, okay, like so, and I'm going to push this down until I get to that 1 3/8. And if I have not compressed my spring or my tension up here on top down to that 13 pound mark yet, and I've already reached my 1 3/8, then at that point I am too loose. At that point I need to tighten it up a little bit. And there I'm at my 1 3/8, and I am just at 10 foot-pounds. So right there I'm already too loose. And not by much, but just a little bit. So again, there I am, static. If I press down, there I am. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten my track just a little bit. Not much, but just a little bit. Okay, now to tighten the track, you've got your axle right here on this sled, and that runs through both bogey wheels. You're going to go ahead and loosen that up, and or boogie wheels, whatever you call them. Wheels. you're gonna loosen this up. That loosens up your axle, allows you to slide it. Then I have two tensioners. I have one here and one here. I want to adjust them equally, the same amount each time. That way my track doesn't get off center. My track center's about perfect right now off my first adjustment. It was a little bit off when I first got it, but I did center it up and it seems to ride really well where it's at. So do not forget to adjust these equally, or else you will have issues. Alright guys, so on this one, on this Skidoo, this is actually a 13 millimeter on both sides. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen up this. Okay, about like so. Okay, now this is a 10. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go about, not very much, probably not that much right there. About a quarter turn. Okay, so I just did that quarter turn. I'm gonna go ahead and double check my track tension. Press this down, see where I end up. About right there. So I'm still kind of a little bit loose. I'm gonna go a quarter turn, and I think I'm gonna call it good because that's so close. Okay, I went that extra quarter turn. One more check. Perfect. Okay, that's it. Not too crazy. Now, if you watch a couple other videos, there's guys that do it different ways. But I am fortunate enough to already have the belt tension gauge, so it just makes sense that I use it and do it the correct way. I think it's just mainly important that your track is tight and that you're not running something really loose. That way you don't have catastrophic failure, you don't have a track derail, and you don't stab a track. So when they talk about stabbing a track, what that means is if your track is so loose that right up there it bounces back and forth violently enough that you actually run the rails through the middle of the track, and then you have a catastrophic failure. So anyway, all right guys, hope this helped. I enjoy making these kind of videos for you guys and helping you out. I'm no expert in anything, but I try to be proficient in everything that I do, especially when I own a vehicle like a snowmobile or a dirt bike or whatever it is. I try to cross my T's and dot my I's. So let me know what you guys want to see. If you want to see something else on this sled, or anything general maintenance wise on a snowmobile, and I'll try to put it out there. That's the nice thing about having some toys like these, being fortunate enough to have these, is I enjoy working on it. So please, if you haven't, give me a like, subscribe, and share this video. I would appreciate it so much. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next one.